Welcome to season 2023, everybody. Only 5 days to go before we hit track, which is all very exciting. And the lucky ones are starting to pack their bags. I know I am. And the rest of us are working out where their favourite spot is in the lounge room to tune in. We've got a couple of things to do tonight, which is good. We've got our giveaway, which is going to be proudly brought to you by Steve Blackmore from SCTR, one of our sponsors, Southern Cross Truck Rentals. And he has a merch pack to offer for all of you guys each round. A cap and a shirt, polo shirt, I think it is. So he will be joining us shortly, and we will have a chat. You can get to meet him, he'll introduce himself, and have a bit of a chat about what it's like to be one of our fantastic sponsors. So we'll wait for Steve to join the room, and then we'll keep going. So basically, we're all up to testing done. And I think it's finally been done with the last VCAT test there that Supercars did the other day. The Mustangs just try to get a little bit closer on the times, try to achieve a bit more parity. Hopefully have all that sorted and be in for some special racing this weekend. No one's quite sure exactly what's going to happen. Everyone has an opinion. Everybody's having a guess, but what we do know is that it's going to get wild. And I did check the weather just before. It's a few days out, so whether it's locked in or not, but they are talking about showers on Saturday and Sunday, about 23, 24 degrees. So just add water, new cars, they move around, less aero, street circuit, concrete walls either side. I don't think every car is going to get back the same way it left the pits. So hopefully drivers can work out their distances from each other, and when they see a gap, go for it. We don't want to see anybody just back out, but at the same time, we've got brand new cars that are going to be moving around a bit. And the only little bit of wet testing might have been done at Sydney, but nobody was actually using, I think maybe the Camaros were using the new wets, super softs. I don't think the Mustangs put the super softs on their cars when it was a bit of a wet track at SMP. We shall wait for Steve to pop up into the room. In the meantime, we'll have a little bit of a mini chat with a hat, I suppose. For those of you who do know, there is a podcast that Rowan and I are doing after each round. After Newcastle next Thursday, we're going to drop the second episode. The first one's already up on Spotify and Apple Podcasts and Google Podcasts and a couple of other places as well. So you can go back and listen to episode 1 and see if you like it, see if you don't. Give us some feedback. We're up for it. Episode 2 is going to be quite exciting because we'll be wrapping up all the fan activity at Newcastle, and we have an interview with Peter Adderton. So you certainly don't want to be missing episode 2. So we'll be having a chat with Peter after Newcastle and get his thoughts and views on life, the universe and everything, not just about car racing, but other areas, as he's quite a busy man. No doubt we'll be talking a lot about the new Gen 3 cars and his aspirations to be a team owner and where he's at this year. And so that's an episode that you certainly do not want to miss. So that's Chat with the Hat. And come and like us on the socials as well, Facebook and Twitter and Instagram. There's not much on there yet. It's just basically the Facebook page. So here we go. There's the man himself. So welcome to season 2023, mate.
So where'd you get to?
Well, we just got up to talking about Newcastle and about the potty and stuff for next week. Just Newcastle's kicking off, and a small introduction to you. So if you want to introduce yourself, Steve, and what you do as a partner of Veritas and who else you're sponsoring. And I see you've got your Manly jersey on there because you've got Ruben Darrick in your fold as well.
Sponsoring Shore and Partners. Yeah, no, but look, I own Southern Cross Truck Rentals and a group of companies out in the southwest of Sydney. I'm also met a schoolmate of Pete Adderton's, so Pete and I went to school together, so we've been mates for a long, long time, and I got involved in, I've been involved in motorsport for a long time and doing different things, but I got involved with Erebus with Pete a couple of years ago and come on board, and same sort of time as Shore and Partners, we all came on board, and yeah, I'd sort of upped the ante last year when Pete was there running 2 cars, and, through sort of Brody's manager, we also jumped on board supporting Kai Allen and, then Richie Stanaway, Greg Murphy, David Russell and just really trying to make it possible for a lot of the good guys that we all like and sort of admire to get the opportunity to race because, mate, it's expensive. It costs a lot of money to run teams, and it costs a lot of money for young drivers to sort of get through. And, so we want to try and just do our best or do a little bit to try and make that possible. So, mate, I've I'd done a 2-year deal with Erebus. I'd committed for 2 years, and this is my second year. So, although Pete ended his sort of relationship, I'm continuing on with mine. But I've also built really good relationships and friendships with a lot of the people in the team, and we have a lot of fun doing being involved in the motor racing and the motorsport. And sure, we sponsor the main game and the main car, and that's really for business. We leverage off that and use that to sort of promote our business activities. But there's a lot of other fun that goes with it, mate. We recently did a big deal with Bradley Peckham, mate, V2, the mechanic, sponsoring his little Excel, and I'm doing that with Brody, Will, Betty, and a couple other people, and that's those sort of things made it just as much fun as sometimes as doing the main game. But we're Southern Cross Truck Rentals as a company, mate. We're supporting quite a few young drivers, young Lockie Maneath and Will. We sponsor them both in the TCR. We're helping out Cameron Crick and Kai Allen with Eggleston Motorsport in the Super 2s, plus obviously the Erebus car that's been put in with Shoren Partners and Jack Perkins in the Super 2s. So we've got sort of 3 cars running in the Super 2s that we're supporting. And mate, I try and do a little bit with as many people as I possibly can. Unfortunately, you can't do everybody, but we're trying to do as much as we can for those that we can help. So that's pretty much what we're doing. But mate, we're passionate like all you guys in the Erebus Army, and mate, that's why I was happy to sort of get on board. Pete, I know, did a lot of giveaways and all that last year, and he's obviously not available this year or not around with Erebus. But he spoke to me and said if we could continue on the tradition of supporting the Erebus Army. So I spoke to Delise himself, and happy to donate a shirt and a hat for each round, for one of the supporters. I know you'll run a bit of a competition, mate, and select someone. All I need from that is the size of the person who wins the competition, and I'll forward that on to our suppliers and get them posted out to them.
That's fantastic, mate. That's absolutely wonderful. We really appreciate that. All the effort that you're putting into supporting these young drivers as well as you. It's not just playing with the big boys and the supercars. We really are looking into the grassroots. I saw B2's Blue M&M down at Sandown last round when he debuted, kicked off down there. So kept it on 4 wheels, so it's all good. Good weekend, good learning weekend.
Mate, there's a bit of a issue with B2. Mate, obviously he's a pretty crack mechanic, but mate, he was complaining about a lack of horsepower. So Brody had a good chat to one of the engine suppliers, and we've got some performance parts coming for the XL. So mate, we just want to get it right down to the fact where this can be his driving ability, and then we can put shit on him. To be honest, though, that's what it's all about.
Yeah, no, that's fantastic. And the other young blokes, like he was racing in Will's old TCR, last year's TCR car, like down at Tassie. Will, unfortunately, both the Audis, unfortunately, had a terminal failure in their drive shafts. Both cars identical issues, so that's a bit of a concern from the engineering aspect. It's not the way they drive them, it's just parts fail. But identical failures in a drive shaft is quite uncommon.
Yeah, mate, look, I think talking to the guys, I think, mate, that hairpin turn at Simmons Plains is pretty much not like any other corner in the calendar, and I think that's the corner that was doing the problem.
Yeah, well, you're basically almost at a stop, and you just like cramp it, and you're just fully loading up. So how do you get on top of that? Once they can find some spare parts or whatever, they try to Hail Mary fix it, didn't hold.
Mate, look, mate, they get that car together. I've got no doubt in the world. Swillow in that with no trouble at all, mate. He's super fast, and in a fast car. Like last year, he finished second in older version Audi, which, mate, in reality is a lot slower in a straight line than the other the later version cars. But mate, Lockie only drove it for that round. He'll be back in his later model Audi for the next round. So
good.
Yeah, I
So
think
three Gen 2 Audis, current RS3 Gen 2s.
So, mate, he'll, and hopefully, Will and them, I'm sure, mate, if they don't get past, they'll engineer and we'll do something. You can't not have the cars running around. So, the control parts, people have to come to some form of compromise. But, it'll be interesting, mate. I know a lot of people, mate, don't like that. The TCR racing, I'm a fan. I love it. I reckon it's a pretty close and good competition. I love the fact that there's some drivers in there, mate, who, are happy to put it down the inside of cars and, take chances and things like that. It makes it all pretty exciting. And as the field grows, that competition will grow stronger and stronger. I know a lot of blokes love the Trans Am, and I know I spotted Brody last year in a bit of a Trans Am round, but I haven't quite warmed to the Trans Ams just yet. But anyway, mate, we'll just soldier on. But no, mate, it's all good. I think, I went out to practice and had a look on, just before the launch and the Vert Supercars launch. And, mate, I can tell you that, our cars are competitive. I'm sure Fords were putting on a bit of a show to, try and push their argument for a bit more parity. But,
push for the VCAT, push for the aero testing.
But, mate, honestly, notwithstanding, even if the Fords were fast, it looks like our cars are on the money, certainly as fast, if not faster than a lot of the other, Camaros in the field. So, and mate, we've got two gun drivers in Brody and Will. So, mate, I'm really excited about the season kicking off. I know I won't be in Adelaide, but I'll be watching from Singapore. And, mate, I'm really excited to see how the first round goes. I'm really, really hopeful that, that no one does anything really silly at Newcastle. I know there's a few young guys, debuting and things like that. But, mate, there's not a lot of fares. There's a lot of work still going on in these cars. The guys have worked day and night to get them on the track to get the first round. We need to get through this weekend with, relatively minor bumps and scrapes. And, hopefully, we just don't have any major issues there. And mate, I think that the boys will surprise us with their pace. I'm really excited for the team this year. I think that they genuinely come in chances of winning races. So, I mean, look, time tells. The first round's the time whenever all the sandbagging stops and everyone has to put it down. But mate, I was talking to a young Cameron Crick at Winton, and Brody was super fast down there, straight out of the box, and Will was sort of picking it up. And, by Sydney, Will and Brody were both, they were flying. I mean, Heimgartner put in a quicker time, but he was on super softs, and they weren't. But in reality, they were 5/10 quicker than a lot of the cars out on the field. So, mate, I'm really, really excited about it. And, really excited about the season. So,
good place to be, straight out of the truck.
Yeah, mate, 100%. 100%. Now, I'll let you go and run your competition, mate. Keep us in the loop about who wins it. I wish everyone all the best, and mate, keep us in the loop, and I'll do it. But I've got to go get something to eat. So I'll talk to you later.
Yeah, roger that. Well, enjoy your time in Singapore, and thanks for having a quick chat with us and introducing yourself to the group.
All good.
So if anybody sees him on track, come up, say hi. Steve's one of our friendliest sponsors you'll ever meet. So he'll be more than happy to say hello and have a quick chat.
See you, buddy.
Thanks for your time, mate. We'll get this competition underway and we'll get a winner out, and then we'll see you. Are you coming around too? Okay, Steve shot through. All right, that's for us now. Now, this is how we do it. We have an Alexa. Alexa, say hello.
Hi there.
There we go. So, everybody, we have 216 entries for the merch pack. Wonderful, fantastic. So what we'll do, my Alexa here will pick a random number, and that will be the winner. Alexa, pick a number between 1 and 216.
Here's a number between 1 and 216. It's 206.
Okay, 206. Lucky 206. Tony and Lisa Morby. Congratulations. Tony and Lisa Morby. we will get in contact with you via messenger or on the page, or you get in contact with us, Lisa or myself, and tell us the size of shirt that you need. Capsule all one size. So we'll give us your details on the messenger and we'll organise delivery of your prize. So that's it for the precursor to Newcastle, basically. We've got Cars on Track on Friday. If you're in Newcastle, come around. We have a fan meetup, Erebus Army fan meetup that we do at each round, just so you can all meet each other. If you're on track, you have time. That will be at 11:30 a.m. at the concert area stage down at the back of the pits there, just at the back of the Super 2s and Super 3 pits, and some pretty good luck and good planning. We should be able to meet up with our 3 young Super 2s drivers and Joe, who's in Super 3. So there'll be Jay Hansen, Jay Robotham, Jack Perkins, and Joe Stewart. All the J's. It's like triple J plus one. So those guys will be doing a driver signing session at 11:45 down that area there. We'll have the meetup started at 11:30. So you can stick around and watch them, or get your sign and get your posters signed with the Super 2s and Super 3 drivers just before we all get back to our seats for shootout, the top 10 shootout, which kicks off about, I think, 12:20. So it won't go for too long. But come down at 11:30, say hi. You might need to bring a poncho because there could be showers. Good luck to everybody. Good luck to Erebus, Bill and Brody. Keep your nose clean, push up the front. Don't get hit out the front. It's a good place to be. So we'll see you all there. Yeah.